How we doing, folks? I am standing in what was our little rabbit hutch shed type deal. We never knew what to call it. Today is moving day, and for the last member of the spring litter, today is cull day. Today was his last day on Earth. He had a good day. He ate a good breakfast. He never knew anything was happening, just like it should be. Everyone else has moved over to the new rabbit hutch that we just spent the last couple of weeks building. I still have some partial neuropathy in my right hand. Not sure what I did to it while we were working on it, but it happened. So getting started ain't really difficult. First things you want to do is get to your location and get everything set up before you ever really get started on any cutting or anything. But you don't need a whole lot. You need your knife, maybe a sharpening tool, and you need a way to hang up your rabbit, which that don't have to be complicated either. That is some baling twine from a hay bale that we bought, and I cut off a chunk of it and then used it to string up the rabbit. So I mean, excuse me, super simple stuff. For starters, you're gonna come right here underneath the back of that foot and the ankle, and you're gonna break the skin and go all the way around. You want to completely cut off that sock. Do not cut the meat or tendon underneath. If you cut that tendon on the back there, it's going to snap up inward, and that thigh meat is going to ball up inside there. It's going to make your whole thing a pain in the butt. But you're going to cut around there, and then once you've got it cut all the way down, you're going to cut slits down the inside of the thighs to the groin on each side to here. Alright, it's tough to see past this fluff, but we're separated there. We got cuts going all the We got cuts going all the way down both thighs here up to the groin. And then when we get the meat in the middle, you separate. Okay? So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna come up here and you just gotta kind of pinch it and pull carefully at where you started your split. After you separate the leg from the ankle, and where you start splitting down the thigh, you just gotta start working it off, just like that. And this is the most tedious and slowest part of the process, getting started. You cut those ankles and you cut those slits. Once you really get going on this part, you're going, as you can see. And you're going to peel off both sides, try and get it kind of worked around the waist, but the tail and the groin are still attached. You can see where some of the bunnies got me while we were moving everybody. Don't worry, he didn't freak out on me. He never knew what was coming. As far as he knew, he was just chilling on the ground and getting some love. But the ones that we moved were a different story. I got shredded today. I looked like I got into a fight with Freddy Krueger. But the groin and the tail are still connected. So once you get all this pulled down, that fur's still connected. You're going to flip it around and you're going to cut through the tailbone by cutting the groin separate from the tail. You're going to cut between the anus and the tailbone. And once you have that cut, you'll be able to just peel the whole pelt off, and you'll just have the genitals and the anus still attached there, and we'll deal with that in a minute. All right, so I've got it peeled all the way around. I've got it peeled down to the waist, like I said, and I've got it up here to the tail. So what we're gonna do now is you gotta carefully watch your fingers. All right, carefully reach up under here and start separating so you feel that tailbone. And then you gotta, well, at least now it's in a better level. There we go. And then it just came right loose. Okay, cool. Cut between that tail and the anus, which looks like it got a little bit of anus anyways, but that's fine. But now it's here. You've got the genitals and the anus separated, and you've got his coat. So now, what you do, it's very simple. You grab a good handful on either side, and you just start working it. May I take your coat, sir? Just about all the way off. You can almost rip it clean off. You can if you really want to. We don't leave the masks on ours. We separate the head from the pelt. You find that arm, and you're gonna rip a little hole there. Help that separate. And actually, while you've got a hold of it, you hold onto that elbow, and stick a finger through that pelt, and you just give her until this little growth pops out. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. You're gonna work that. Sometimes you get some muscle that peels away and tries to cling to the pelt. Pull, and pull, and pull, and pop goes the weasel. Wunderbar. And now, all I'm going to do is cut around here, separating that head fluff from the pelt. And all that's left is to remove them innards and pop off them feet. And that's it. Ta-da! It's a gorgeous coat. We let him grow longer. He was about 18 weeks. I want to say somewhere between 6 and 7 pounds. Not a spectacular grow out rate, but not the worst. But we let him grow out a little longer and get a little fatter, and let the coat get a little thicker, so it'll be better to tan and make something cool out of, maybe. But these are Rex rabbits, so they have this ultra freaking plushy, super soft fur that's just awesome. Yeah, so there's that. I'm gonna finish chopping him up. I don't know how much of the innards I'm going to show. Probably none for this one. What I had said before about the gonads and the anus and all that, the good thing about leaving this here is now I can grab it and lift up real hard and trim down in on those sides, and it separates the digestive tract from the rest of the body, and it makes it easier to get everything out without rabbit shit getting everywhere. So I'll probably show you all the finished product here in a minute, so hold tight. Okay, so I lied, and I apologize. This is a really important part of processing any animal, whether it's one you raised or a wild one you got out in the woods. The digestive membrane on the large intestine is super thin on most animals. And an important thing is after you cut them open, you look at it and you kind of give it a couple little squeezes and look over it and everything, because if there's anything squirming around in there, digestive parasites you need to be aware of, you'll be able to see it through the membrane. So anybody who doesn't want to see this, look away for a little while. I'll let you know whenever it's safe. So, I'm not sure how well my camera's going to pick anything up, but I'm looking it over. That brownish greenish color is not the actual color of a large intestine. That's the color of all the junk that's been digested and turned mostly into shit. But as I'm looking this over, I actually don't see anything. He did not have, and it's a common thing when you're raising rabbits, sometimes they get, gut worms and whatnot, and it's whatever. Okay, it's safe to look again, by the way. Sometimes they'll get digestive issues. They'll have parasites get up in them. And if you process some of your rabbits and find that they do have worms, that just means you need to treat the rest for worms and move on with your day. It'll all be fine. Yes, I know, ladies, my chickens are all surrounding me waiting for me to throw them bits of rabbit guts. So I got to get back to work or the bosses are going to maul me. And there we have it. Cleaned out processed, bled out, and I've even saved the organ meat. This is going to a family friend. I don't know if they want the organ meat or not, so heart, liver, kidneys are just going to get tucked right in here. He's going to get balled up and shoved into a vacuum sealer. And that's processed rabbit.